Hello, everybody. Come on in the house. Yes, let's get this conversation going. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to this talk today. Welcome to Love Coach Sessions Live. I'm your man, KTJ, and we're getting into it. Today, we're talking about how to love a man who's never been loved. How to love a man who's never been loved. I got 5 ways to know how to love a man who's never been loved. We're going to get into it. I got a couple of examples. I got a couple of things. I want you guys the comment section is open. I want you guys to drop your comment down below. I want to know your thoughts on these things tonight. So come on in the house. Hello, Shonda. All right. Thank you so much for coming in. All right. We're going to get right into it. You guys, so how to love a man who's never been loved. This is a good topic, and I think somebody's going to get some good help from this conversation. You know, sometimes you can be in a relationship with a man, and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with this guy. Does he want me? Does he not want me? Does he see me? Does he not see me? Does he care? Does he not care? Right? Does he care whether I love him? Does he really love me? Right? Look, relationships can be very confusing. So I'm going to try to just clear up a little bit here today and see how we can help out somebody today. So let's get into it. One of the things I want to talk to you about with this is, actually, let me give you this. I got a story, and some of you have probably heard me tell this story before, but indulge me. All right. So my background is in working with men, coming out of working with men from the social service background. Worked with men for 17 years, boys, grown men, men coming out of the system, men coming out of the church, men from the fraternity, always working with men, right? And one of the men that I worked with, I talk often about him. And this man, he literally told me he's never been loved, right? The brother told me he's never been loved. And you know what's funny? After doing this work, and I just told you I did this for 17 years, right? I never forgot this guy. I did probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of coaching and counseling sessions, right? I never forgot this guy. He told me, he said he came up, in the foster care system. He came up in the system where, back in the 80s, where people just took in foster care kids just to get a check, right? Because nobody checked on them. They were happy to get the kids out of the system. And so they'll send the kids anywhere to anybody who wants them. Well, it used to be a good hustle back in the day to take in foster care kids, right? People used to take them in. This boy said he slept in the basement of one of those big old dank houses, right? Slept in what you might call, they called it the basement, but he said it was more like a dungeon. He said one of the times, he and his brothers stayed together, and they stayed in the basement, right? This grown man reports to me that the foster parents would literally throw food down the steps to them like dogs. They say, "I'm hungry. Can we have a nighttime snack?" And he throw the bread down the steps, throw some cookies down the stairs. He said their only warmth was around a fire that came from a little tiny heater that's supposed to heat up a whole giant basement. He said they were always cold. He said they were always freezing. He said this man reported to me that he had never been loved. Now, can you imagine? And when he said that, I was taken back. I was like, what you mean never? I'm sure you had it, teachers or, people in the neighborhood, right? But guess what? To him, since he didn't have the love of his parents, since he didn't have the love of family members, since he had no real sense of belonging, right? He didn't even know what love is. So guess what? He might have been loved, right? Who knows? The brother might have been loved in the past. But guess what? Because he could not identify what love is, to him, he said, I see what everybody else gets. I see what other kids get, but I have never gotten that sense of love and belonging from anyone in my life. Right. So now this man is, as he's talking to me, he's a grown man with kids, which means he's had sex, which means he's had relationships. Right. So some woman was in his life, and she, I'm sure, was trying to figure out what is wrong with this man. How come he won't connect with me? Why won't he call me? Why won't he bond with me? He'll come over at nighttime. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? But he's leaving right afterwards. Like, why won't he be with me? And you know what? She was trying to love a man who'd never been loved. Now, I know that's an extreme example, but guess what? Some of you may be loving and trying to love a man who's never been loved, right? Maybe he comes from a family that he didn't have a father, right? He's never seen a healthy relationship of a father and a mother, two people together. There are some men that have never seen a healthy relationship, a loving relationship. He doesn't know how to love. Believe it or not. If you look, I know men who nobody in their family is married. I'm talking about nobody. Grandma wasn't even married, right? Grandma and grandpa, they were just together and not together. Toxic relationships, right? But I'm telling you, so you get these people like this, right? So then the question is that we came here to talk about today: how do you love this man? How do you love a man that doesn't even know what love is? Maybe he comes from some other kind of background, but there's a reason. So understand. I got a couple of things that I want you to understand before I give you the 5 points. This is part of it though. All right. So look, here's what you got to understand about a man who's never been loved. Right? A man who's never been loved does not trust easily. Okay? He doesn't trust easy. He may present like he'll trust you, but in the back of his mind, he thinks you're just like everybody else. You're only in his life to get what you want. And when you're done getting what you want, that's it. Right? So he doesn't trust easily. Something you need to know about a man an unloved man. Something you need to know about an unloved man. 1, he doesn't trust easily. Another thing that an unloved man shows is a man who's never been loved may not even know how to receive love. Right? He might not even know how to receive love. You're just talking to him and you're just trying to, you might be trying to just help. Hey, honey, why don't we go to the left? Why don't we go to the left? I think the road is going to the left, right? He might feel like you're trying to control him, right? Because he has been out of control. Let's say he came up in an environment where somebody else did all the shot calling for him, right? And he decided, you know what? As a grown man, ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. So he fights you. So there's conflict. So there's arguments. So there's even sometimes violence, right? Because he's never been loved. A third thing you need to understand about a man who has never been loved is he often deals with anger issues, right? Again, it's rooted in that feeling of unworthiness. He's trying to figure out, how come all these other kids in this neighborhood had people who loved them? and I did. How come all these people in this neighborhood get to live a better life than me? Why wasn't I good enough for my father to stay around? Or why wasn't I good enough for my mother to take me in? I'm telling you, men who are unloved are often dealing with anger. And so anger, we know anger is just a mask for hurt, right? It's a socially acceptable thing for a man to present to the world as being angry. And I want to use my fist to express my hurt when he's really just hurting, right? So anger is number 3, right? A man who's never been loved is often angry. All right, number 4. A man who's never been loved really wants to be loved, but he doesn't know how. A man who's never been loved desires love, right? But sometimes all those other things get in the way. But he really, really wants to be loved, but he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how. Guess what? If he knew how, he would have taken care of the whole situation by now, right? He doesn't know how to be loved. And so he may seek out things or women who seem like they love him, right? Check this out, you guys. Follow me on this. He seeks out women who seem like they love him, right? And then this is the clingy type. He gets so clinging on them, especially if he feels like, wow, she loves me. She really loves me. And now I can't let her go. Now you, on the other hand, right? You like, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, I love you and everything, but wait a minute. I can't be your all in all. Well, if you were the only source of love this man has ever gotten, guess what? He's not letting you go easily. And he might try and make you be his all in all. You can't be anybody's all in all. So then look, and so let's say you decide, you say, wait a minute, hold on, bro. I mean, I understand your situation, but I'm not here for all of that. I just want to love you. I want to be in a regular relationship. You know, it works back both ways, right? But because of the hole in his soul, because of that empty spot, that unquenchable fire, that unfillable cup, he gravitates to anything that feels like love, right? And because he gravitates towards anything that feels love, you'll be like, whoa, back up. And guess what you'll end up doing? The same thing everybody else did. They left him. So a lot of times, that which brings me into number 5. Number 5 is a man who's never been loved often has a sense of abandonment and unworthiness. You have to understand that. Deep down, there's a feeling of unworthiness, of a sense that I'm not worth loving. So he does certain things. He might, some of these guys, some of these guys get high. Some of these guys drink and party and, go crazy with it, right? All trying to fill an unfillable hole that only God himself can fill. Only God himself can fill that space, and that hole in a man's heart, until he comes to the place that he recognizes that this is the situation. You can't help him. You can't you can't you can't plug that hole. It's too big, right? That plug has to be plugged. You guys follow me on this? That hole has to be plugged from the inside. It can't be plugged from the outside. It can't be plugged from the outside. It can only be plugged from the inside. So, what do you do? I'm gonna come to you guys' comments in a minute. What do you do in this situation? You're trying to love a man who has never been loved. Well, first of all, in today's times, right? If you can pick up your phone and have Burger King at your door in 20 minutes, guess what? You can also pick up your phone and find some help for your emotional problems, right? He's got to find himself in talk therapy. He's got to find himself with a therapist, with a mental health specialist, somebody who can walk him through this, right? And you can just encourage that situation. Now, you can't make somebody go to therapy, but you can encourage them to come to better, right? Here's what else you can do. A couple things you can do. You can, when he's ready to share his thoughts, share his feelings, share his ideas, when he's ready to share, you be open to it. Be open to his sharing and allow him to open up and share the thoughts, share the feelings, share the emotional burden that he is carrying. Now, let me give you, I have to say this right here, y'all. You are not here to carry everybody's burden. Yes, you can be here to help, you can share, you can encourage, but you are not meant to carry everybody's burden. Let the church say amen. Look, you're not strong enough. You can barely carry your own burden, right? So understand that. So here's something you guys have to understand too, is that at some point in time, each and every person has to make their own decision on who they're going to be. Every man has to decide who he's going to be. And I'm telling you, do not stick around for a man who has never been loved, who treats you like trash. If he does not know how to treat you, doesn't know how to talk to you, doesn't know how to engage you, doesn't know how to be with you, right? And after you have extended yourself to show a man how to love you, show a man how to care for you, show a man how to be what you need, right? If he doesn't have the ability to do it, you have to make a decision for yourself. You're going to have to make a decision for yourself. Look, I'm sorry. You cannot help everybody. Listen, Florence Nightingale, if you got the Florence Nightingale syndrome, I've known plenty of women that do, right? They say, my man said, all I just need was a good woman. And she said, all he just needed was a good woman, right? That man will wear you out because you'll never stop serving. You'll never stop giving. It'll never be enough. And then he'll turn around and have contempt for you because you helped him too much. And now he can't help himself. If you help a man too much, you're not helping him. You're hurting him. Right? So at some point in time, he's got to decide for himself. At some point in time, he's got to begin the process of loving himself. Encourage that. Encourage him to love himself. Again, you guys, self-love and self-worth and all of this stuff is an inside job and nobody can do it for you. But every man has to do it for himself. And unless a man wants to do it for himself, it won't work. It will only work if he wants to do it for himself. Let me check out some of the questions here, some of the comments down below. My girl Sean is in the building. All right. His words don't back his actions. Right. Yes, yes. Kristen. Yes. My girl Coco was in the house. Yes. All right. Happy BTV. Whatever you do, don't kiss his butt and let him make an effort to be with you. If he's not doing that, then leave him alone. Well said. Well said. Look, because some of these guys, look, I've known men who are narcissists who would say that, right? They say, look, my mama, left me in the woods. My mama left me in the basket at the hotel, at the hospital. And I grew up with no parents. I grew up in this bad environment. I grew up doing this. I grew up doing that. So now, don't you feel sorry for me? You know what? Yeah, you can feel sorry for somebody, but that doesn't mean that they get to abuse you. It doesn't mean they get to treat you like trash just because you feel sorry, just because they had a hard life. Well, guess what? Life is hard for everybody. Some innocent person gonna die tonight, gonna get shot. A building falling on innocent people. Listen, life happens and it's not always fair, right? But we deal with the cards that life has dealt us, and we move on. So I want to encourage you guys. Understand that every man has to make the decision for himself and become what he's going to become for himself. He has to decide what his life is going to be, and you can't do it for him. He has to decide how much he wants to get help, get healing, advance his life, and you can't do it for him. You can't do it for him. He's got to decide to do it for himself, or it doesn't get done. All right, you guys, look, check it out. Check it out. I got the free mini course, Finding the One. I'm starting up with the membership, Finding the One membership. Look, I want you guys to be involved in it. If you are looking for the one, if you're looking for love, you're looking for a partner, you're looking for a high quality partner, jump in on this. This is going to be good for you. It's going to help you to find the one as well. If you need a love coach session, hit me up, jump in the email right there. lovecoachatlanta@gmail.com is the email. Or if you have a topic that you think we need to cover, boom. Email me at lovecoachatlanta@gmail.com and we make it happen from there. So, all right, look, I want to hear your guys' comments, right? How do you, what maybe did I leave out? What was it that I left out? What did you not hear? Do you have some thoughts as to how to love a man who's never been loved? Have you ever had to love a man who's never been loved? I would love to hear your comments. Love to hear what you have to say, and we'll make it happen. So, all right, you guys, till next time, peace and love. Bye.